Hello and welcome. A user on Reddit asked me to make videos of the two destroyer lines. So I went out and recorded some footage. In this video I am in the Tier 10 US destroyer, the Aerroon. The Aerroon is a fast-firing destroyer with guns that have a rate of fire of 20 rounds a minute. Although technically Wargaming in the latest patch said they were going to nerf it to 12 rounds a minute, but they still haven't, so the Aerroon still fires really fast. And those guns also turn very fast, which means you can essentially turn any way you want. The guns will almost always keep up with it. The Aerroon also has pretty powerful torpedoes, 16.5 kilometers, and they deal good damage, also 2 times 5, so 10 torpedoes each, with a reload of about 2 minutes. In most other aspects it's pretty similar to all the other destroyers. Pretty fast, although slower than the shipclass, with a good smoke. Although there is one interesting thing to note about the guns. The guns of the Aerroon fire a bit more arced than the shipclass, which makes it a bit more difficult to hit. So here I decided to try to take B, or at least cap it for a bit, and then move on to C. I am hiding behind the island so that if there is some other destroyer, they won't have line of sight with me to be able to detect me. Although in this case it was kind of wasted because the 2 dive bombers detected me anyway. So I turned off my anti-air, or I turned on my anti-air, just shot at them because I'm behind an island. It's not the likeliest that I will be attacked because there are just 2 battleships, and as we can see, a shipclass actually is in the cap. I would really like to kill her, and right now I'm putting the guns to good use. I can turn and the guns keep on target easily, and that is really convenient. Also the guns fire really fast, but the damage on them is pretty mediocre, and oftentimes you can find that they just deal no damage. Also, the biggest drawback of the Aerroon, the guns break. Right there, I took 1 volley, I have lost 1000 HP, and one of my front guns is permanently destroyed already. And that is very common. Usually you won't lose all 3 guns, but quite often I actually lose 2 of them. And it's pretty annoying if it's both the front guns. Although on the Aerroon it's not that bad because the guns turn so fast, you can use the back guns and just swivel around. I really want to kill the shipclass because the shipclass can lay down serious damage against my team's battleships. But I am kind of unable to. At least the torpedoes on the battleship hit and netted me a kill. Although the US destroyer line is focused on the guns, on the tier 10 the torpedoes are incredibly powerful. Not as powerful as the shipclass, but at least Kagero levels. Here the enemy shipclass shot torpedoes, and if I were a little bit faster I probably would have been hit by them. But unlucky for him, I wasn't. So right now I am able to find him and kill him. Although I'm pretty worried right now because there are a lot of enemy ships around me, and at least 2 of them are cruisers, so if they were to all open up on me, I probably would die. But luckily they don't, because they have problems of their own and I can smoke and slow down. Also, if you didn't know, and you can slow down in the smoke and fire your guns and you will not be detected. If you don't move, or move a bit less than 1/4 the speed, or backwards, then you can fire your guns without being detected. Like right now, I have the detection perk and I am not detected, although I can see the enemy because I have allied ships near me, so I just fire away. So that carrier is an incredible target. The problem with fighting carriers is that on lower tiers, carriers have weak secondaries. But on higher tiers, the secondaries on carriers are incredibly formidable. And in a destroyer, if you get too close, they will kill you. They will absolutely kill you. I've killed quite many destroyers with just my secondaries. So if you want to kill carriers in a destroyer, you have to keep your distance, at least 6 kilometers. But the problem at that distance is that your torpedoes often don't hit. And with some of the high tier carriers, the guns and the gearing will also deal no real damage. Also, the Lexington decided to just move in the opposite distance, so my torpedoes completely miss. The nice thing about high tier carriers is that they can often kill scout planes, something that lower tier carriers almost, so lower tier destroyers almost never are able to do. So it is useful to turn on your anti-air to fire at them. Also in this game we're winning pretty handily again. It seems that we were able to break through and, well, disrupt them pretty well. We probably should cap B, but killing the carrier, well, everyone wants to hit carriers. I don't know, it's like a global taunt. If you can fire at a carrier, you will. Also, this showcases the rate of fire, and it's pretty amazing. Even with one of the guns being down, I can essentially constantly fire, although the damage is pretty weak. I guess maybe if you could aim a bit better, you would deal a bit more, but yeah. Also note how I really don't start many fires, even though I'm hitting the deck pretty well, at least some of the time. But I guess it makes sense because the high rate of fire is balanced with a low fire starting rate. Now the carrier is down and well, now it's time to sail in a straight line for a while to meet more ships. So one thing I wish that Wargaming did was that when they actually nerfed the Gering's guns in rate of fire, like they want to do, that they increased turret survivability. I understand that there are balance issues, but the Gering right now, I think it still would need better turrets, because having this kind of luck-based fighting is really annoying when you go up against another destroyer that's like 3 tiers lower, and on their first shot they will take out like 1 or 2 of your primary guns permanently. That is incredibly frustrating. I can understand if your guns just break that you can repair, but permanently is really, really annoying. Really, we should actually cap B, as it's being capped by an enemy, which means an enemy is there. So I'm going to turn towards it. Also, since we can't see it, I think there should be a destroyer there. Because I mean, otherwise we would be able to see it. So me and the Sims will go there. I'm not being a very good teammate because I'm letting him go first, although I guess we can't really do much about it since the Sims is faster than the Gering. But he isn't going to have a good time being the first ship in the line, especially because he has less than half HP.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Right now, what my team should be doing is the destroyer that's behind us should probably try to cap C, to win the game. I don't know if he's going to, but that's what they should be doing. So we found the Gering. Now the trouble is that he has more HP than me. Just one-on-one he should win because, well, I have one less gun than he does. But, well, I have a Sims on my team. So, or well, I had a Sims on my team. I think we can take him. Although I'm not actually certain that I could. I destroyed his engines and did critical damage to something, and he destroyed my engines, and I did critical damage again, and I set him on fire, and my engine was destroyed again. So now I'm a sitting duck for like 90 seconds at least. I fired some torpedoes blindly because I remember there being some cruiser or battleship around that area. So maybe they will hit because I'm a sitting duck, I can't do anything anyway. Especially because I'm inside the smoke. So I won't be able to detect anything anyway. And I got lucky. The torpedo hit the Gering and just killed him. Also, my repair finally finished, so I can start moving forward again. There are only 3 enemies left and we have 3 of the 4 caps, so it is very unlikely that we're going to lose the game, but you know, in a destroyer, just one well-placed volley can take you out, so you still have to be on your toes. But since the enemies are pretty far away, some more sailing in a straight line again. I noticed that I have 4 plane kills. That's pretty unusual for a destroyer. Usually just 1 plane kill is quite a feat. But in terms of the Shimakaze against the Gering, I would say that currently the Gering is better. But when they nerf the guns in terms of rate of fire, without buffing some other part of it, I would say the Shimakaze will be better. The latest patch made it so that their detection range, or well, concealment range is the same, so in that regard there is no difference. Their HP is essentially the same. The score is pretty good, at least I think it is. Yeah, I would recommend going for the Shimakaze in the long run. It will end up being better. Almost 95,000 damage. It's interesting how my guns did almost as much damage as my torpedoes. But yeah, the main thing is the fragility of destroyers. That is something you really need to take into account. And the guns on the Gering break much more easily, in my opinion, than the Shimakaze. And that's a big point that, well, you won't see in stats, but will make the gameplay experience quite different. Anyways, I would appreciate it if you could leave some feedback in the comments, and if you would like to see more videos, then you probably should subscribe. Also, if you want to see some specific ship class being played, then mention that in the comments as well. Thanks for watching.